Hot and cold dynamic. Is this something that you are currently dealing with and you are desperate to get out of it? If this is you, then you are watching the right video. I'm going to give you some tips, some recommendations that you can apply right now so that you can start to shift the dynamic, so you can start to change the outcome, right? Because when you are in a situation like this, you feel stuck. You feel like you're going crazy. You feel like you've done everything that you possibly can, but it just does not seem to be working. And every time your ex seems to get closer and you feel like, okay, this is my opportunity, this is my chance, they back off again. That can make anybody crazy. So if you are trying to get out of this dynamic, follow these steps, and I guarantee you it will start to shift the power in the dynamic, right? But before we start, I wanted to welcome you. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome to the With My Ex Again project. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. And if you are somebody who has already been a part of the community for some time, welcome back. If you don't know who I am, my name is Danny, and I'm one of the head coaches here at With My Ex Again, and I work with people like you to get you out of these types of situations where you feel stuck. So let us not waste any more time and jump right into it, right? So understanding the role or your role in this dynamic is very, very important. We so often focus on our ex's actions when in fact we are contributing to the dynamic, the very dynamic that we hate, by engaging and enabling that person. Essentially, what we are doing is that we are teaching our ex that it is okay for them to treat you in this way, to get close and then pull away, to continue to communicate but not really give you much, to maybe give you false hopes and expectations and then take them away. If you continue to allow that, if you continue to communicate, if you continue to believe that their words are legitimate, you're going to continue to be in this position, right? So if your ex keeps reaching out and then backing off, it means they still have feelings for you, sure. Because if they didn't, then it would probably be a situation where they were completely cold, or there just wouldn't really be a reason for them to speak to you at all, because they probably would have moved on already, or they might be dating already, or whatever the case may be. Or they may just be so disconnected from the situation that they've already transitioned to a place in their mind where you guys are friends, so they don't really understand why you're not able to speak on a friend's level. So if you are in this position, here's what you're going to do. Number one, pull back. It is so important to create boundaries for yourself. And it's a common misconception that boundaries actually are utilized to hurt other people, right? To reject the person that you are trying to create boundaries for. And the reality is that's simply not true. Boundaries are there to protect you, to maintain a level of self-respect, to maintain your mental health and your emotional health. They are there for a reason, so utilize them. Relationship recovery is a balance of power. And for some people, that might be triggering, right? Because the most common feedback that we get with these types of situations is, relationships shouldn't be a game. There shouldn't be a power play. There shouldn't be this. There shouldn't be that. And sure, all of that theoretically is true, right? If you are two people who love each other and you're in the relationship, there shouldn't be games. There shouldn't be power plays or any of these things. But simply put, it is still a part of the dynamic, especially in the world of breakups. So right now, they have the power because every time they choose to come back, you are available. Therefore, you teach them that every time they pull back, they are welcome to come back. So it's almost like they get their cake and they get to eat it too, right? So maybe they're feeling a little bit lonely. Maybe they're feeling nostalgic. Maybe they feel guilty about the situation. So they lean in a little bit more. And every time they lean in, you allow them to lean in because what your goal is to try to get back into a relationship with this person. But inadvertently, what you're actually doing is that you're teaching this person that every time they lean in, you're going to accept them. And every time they pull back, you're still going to be there. You're still going to accept them the next time they come around. So that has to change. So making sure that the next time they lean in after they pulled back, you do not accept it. You do not allow that to happen. You create boundaries, you create distance, you decrease the level of communication, and maybe it comes to a point where you just go into a complete and total no contact because the current dynamic is not serving you whatsoever, right? The second thing here is reflect. They are afraid to come back for a reason. Why? Make a list of issues that occurred in the relationship, gauge what you are accountable for, and start working and fixing on those behaviors with family and friends, right? The best people you can practice these things on is your immediate circle, the group of individuals that you trust. Now, let me be very clear. I am not saying that you are fully accountable for the breakup. That is not it. There are many reasons for why people break up. And if you are in the position where you've been broken up with, for whatever reason, right? Infidelity, lack of trust, breakdown of communication and intimacy. Maybe you just grew apart. There was a disconnection emotionally. Whatever it is, your partner is equally accountable for the breakup as well. But it is important that we reflect and we have the emotional maturity to be able to stop and say, okay, hold on. What role did I play in this? And maybe every time they lean in, you're displaying the same patterns of behavior that you did within the relationship. So it's not showing any kind of change, which gets them to hesitate or get nervous about moving forward, right? That's one possibility. Like I said, the other possibility may just be that they're not ready or that they miss you or that they're nostalgic and they just want to check in, which are for very selfish reasons. I 100% agree with you. And that is where you have to take control of your life. That is where you have to take control of how much you are communicating with this person. Have a level of self-respect where it forces them to respect you. Because essentially what you're doing is you're teaching them how to treat you. So if you do not allow them to get away with this or to act this way, it's going to teach them that they have to show up at a different level in order to be able to communicate with you, speak with you, and potentially move forward in some kind of repair or reconciliation of the relationship, right? Going back to things that we should be working on, right? If you did it with your ex, it's likely that you do it with the people around you. And that's why I say it's so important to practice these behaviors that you recognize and realize now in hindsight maybe need to be modified a little bit. And you can start to modify those things, edit those things, and practice those things with the people around you because you know that they're going to support you and that you can trust them, right? The third thing here is if they come back after some time, engage. That's fine. But if they are still displaying hot and cold behavior, accept it might be time to move on, right? A lot of people don't want to think about this possibility, but it's a reality. Certain people are just not meant to be together. Certain times there are issues with compatibility. And if you have changed the dynamic, if you've changed your patterns of behavior, if you've worked on yourself, if you've improved and really focused on self-development and you feel that much more confident and you know that you're better at communication and emotional connection and all of these things, and that person comes around and you give it one last shot and they still seem to be pulling away, that's a them problem. That's not a you problem. And it's important that you recognize that. It's important that you take a step back and say, okay, hold on, wait. I've put in the work. I've done what I need to do. And this person is still acting this way. That's on them. That has nothing to do with you. Now, the question becomes, how long should I give it before I respond to them? It really depends on the situation, right? Was it an amicable breakup or was it a hostile breakup? What were the reasons for the breakup? And that is why I always recommend one-on-one coaching sessions because every single person's circumstance and situation is different. So I sit down with you, I have a conversation with you, we break down the situation. I dig a little bit deeper with you, ask very specific questions, try to get to the root of the issues, and then we strategize together and come up with a plan moving forward. Now, that might be that you go into a no contact period for anywhere between 30 to 60 days, maybe 15 days. Maybe it's a radio silence where you're not engaging unless they're engaging you. There are many different ways in which we can approach this. But like I said, your situation is very specific, and I want to make sure that we are giving you the best possible recommendations that we can, and that usually involves a one-on-one conversation. So if that is something that you feel that you need and you are interested in, I will provide a link in the description box down below so that you can book your coaching session and we can get you unstuck. We can get you to the place that you really want to be, right? Having the ability to speak to somebody, a third-party person who is able to view the situation objectively, believe me, is incredibly helpful. So again, if this is something that you feel you need, go ahead and click that link below. I hope you found this helpful. Again, my name is Danny, and I am a life and relationship coach, and I will see you guys in the next video.